What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is March 20th of 2018. Well, folks, today I want to spend some time talking about a technology that many of you have asked me to cover here on the DataDash channel. And it's a technology that I've gotten more and more excited about in the sense of its promises for lower fees, increased security, and ease of use. And that is no other than decentralized exchanges. This has been a growing topic in the cryptocurrency community because many people are starting to realize the potential and benefits that it could bring. Now, I think we all know more than anything, I think the first thing we should start off with is the reason decentralized exchanges might be needed. As many of you might know, we had the most recently out of practically all exchange hacks, we had the largest exchange hack in history of cryptocurrencies on the basis of dollar values. $534 million of NEEM were hacked off of CoinCheck, a centralized exchange that people use for day-to-day transactions for cryptocurrencies. Now, we understand that centralized exchanges are practically one of the last few points that are a central point of failure in the cryptocurrency space. If we think about it in a game theory sense, there is no other point where, in regards to using cryptocurrencies, we rely on a central point of trust outside of fiat to cryptocurrency exchanges and these centralized altcoin to altcoin, or maybe altcoin to Bitcoin exchanges out there in the cryptocurrency space. It's the last point where we rely on a third party to make transactions. And because of that, many people are still realizing how much of a threat this can be if we don't have a sense of security over it. So because of that, I want to spend some time talking about these different decentralized exchanges and all the different approaches they take to becoming decentralized exchanges that allow, pretty much at the end of the day, in a simple description, for you to own your own money before you make any trades. So this means that you can store it in your wallets and make truly decentralized transactions through a variety of different methods that these exchanges offer. So we'll go ahead and dive through and look at some of the leading exchanges and get a good idea of the different players out there and the different innovation that's out there in order to deliver this promise. And we'll also talk about probably the biggest reason why we haven't seen mainstream adoption and what I'm looking forward to going into the rest of 2018 and into 2019 as well. So first and foremost, I want to talk about the first exchange here, IDEX. I think that's the proper way of pronouncing it. This is the largest decentralized exchange that I've been able to find in regards to volume out there out of all the exchanges. And IDEX has served as a pretty good haven for trading. If we take a look here, we not only have a variety of different hot, ERC20 tokens that have launched, such as Haven, Electrify, and I also noticed as well there was Polymath as well as we go down here. And so you can start to see some different types of ERC20 tokens that people will recognize along some really innovative projects. The issue that I find here is not so much the design of it. The design is a nice simplified exchange. It uses trading views, user interface for doing charting and price analysis. Along with that as well, they have a nice range of ERC20 tokens. The biggest issue I see here more than anything is the fact that IDEX is still limited on a sense of liquidity. So this is the largest exchange I could find based on liquidity in regards to decentralized exchanges. And even though we have some really interesting candidates, we only have a limited amount of volume. Now, we do have some players here, for example, like Haven, which is pulling in 951 for volume, but that's not 951 Bitcoin for volume. That's 951 Ethereum. Now, that's not something to shy away. To be fair, that's a fair amount of volume. If we could round that off to 1,000 Ethereum in volume, multiplied by the price, that's over $500,000 worth of trading volume. So it's not something to laugh at or brush off. It's something that's quite impressive to at least see so early on in regards to these exchanges. But outside of that as well, we can start to see as we go down the list, it's becoming less and less feasible for us to make trades on the exchange. And this is going to be a continuous trend as we go throughout the video, guys. I mean, again, this is just one of the prime examples here. The largest exchange only has $3.2 million in volume. And then we have a nice range of tokens such as Matrix. I think that's awesome. They've got Matrix on their Haven, Origin Trail, Electrify Asia. And they're really starting to see some really cool recently launched ICOs. It's still limited on that volume. Only 379 Bitcoin generally traded over the past 24 hours. But that number has been growing, so that's something to look forward to in the sense of optimism. We also have well-known exchanges like EtherDelta, and then also a recent different interface that's come through for the EtherDelta platform, ForkDelta, which pretty much offers a few different pieces comparative to an EtherDelta in the sense of of what you get out of utilizing the exchange on a user interface standpoint. So both of these exchanges have been probably one of the most well-known. I think EtherDelta has been talked about a lot. Most coins go onto EtherDelta before they get listed on a bigger exchange because EtherDelta will pretty much take anything. Anyone can make swaps over it. But nonetheless, the whole thing outside of this, guys, is that we not only don't have the volume for EtherDelta, along with that as well, ForkDelta is pulling less than $1 million in volume over the past 24 hours. And it's happening on a few concentrated cryptocurrencies. So again, I think you guys are starting to see the issue, but we'll even just go down the list here. Waves, for example, many people know Waves out there as one of the really interesting cryptocurrency platforms in the sense of security. But along with that as well, they have a really clean exchange here. I mean, you can take a look at it again using the TradingView interface. So nice. I don't get why any exchange wouldn't use TradingView's interface because it's one of the best in the business. Not to mention as well, you've got a nice clean user interface outside of that. It seems very convenient to trade. I would use this. But again, almost just a little bit over $500,000 in volume, $560,000. Still not enough for me to trade on it. Radar Relay. I've got many people mentioning this one to me because many people are interested in the OX protocols. We'll take a look at in a minute, which helps to power Radar. But the user interface looks pretty cool. I like the color combination. I love how it has everything here. You can close your wallet tab over here and really get down to everything in regards to the interface. You can see volume and the price range. Could do a little bit better on the charting, but outside of that, still looks pretty nice to me. And along with that as well, how they work as an exchange, whereas some exchanges use middlemen. For example, on the Waves platform, there's someone who meets, and there's a system in the middle that will meet in order to pair transactions. So there's a slight bit of centralization to it. But outside of that, in regards to Radar Relay, which uses the OX protocol, two people will ping out transactions over the OX protocol, and with that, it will pair together the transactions together in a smart contract, which can be executed on the chain, building a secure transaction. So there's a great video here if you want to watch it and stuff or look into it. Really interesting tech, but only $77,000 in volume over the past 24 hours. So last but not least, the last one we're going to take a look at is Bartered X. So Bartered X here is an exchange powered by atomic swaps. And if we go down here, they've not only conducted a large amount of successful atomic swaps, almost 83,000 for an exchange. It's really impressive for such an early technology, and it shows that it's consistent. But along with that as well, they have a variety of things. For example, they use Electrum servers, so you don't need to download the entire chains for the coins you want to trade, as well as decentralized ordering and the use of atomic swaps, which I think are really, really exciting personally. Not to mention a nice clean user interface. It seems like the tech is really here, but they've done only $5,000 worth of volume. See, this is really what I want to drill in here, guys. The issue is not that this technology isn't ready. It's here. It looks fantastic. It functions well. It's consistent. It does, in many cases, lower fees, increase security, and provide an ease of use platform for people to trade. But what's the issue we run into? Well, take a look at some of the centralized exchanges. Binance, pulling in $1.6 billion of volume over the past 24 hours. Bittrex, which has been kind of slacking as of recent, still processing $300 million. And you go down the list, guys. Poloniex, $110 million. You have KuCoin, $32 million. And even Cryptopia pulling in at $9.3 million. To just really put it in perspective, guys, of where we are in the sense of adoption for decentralized exchanges, Cryptopia outweighs all of the volume for the players we were just looking at in the decentralized exchange market. And this is the issue I kind of find in regards to decentralized exchanges. It's not that the teams aren't working hard enough or they don't have the tech. I want to give them a big shout out. There's a lot of innovation going on in this space, and I'm absolutely fascinated to see it take off, and I believe it will. The issue that arises at the moment is that as of this time, right now, there is not enough liquidity, meaning capital, being traded on these exchanges. There's just not enough volume coming in to trade on these exchanges to make consistent trades. The reason why Binance and Bittrex and even exchanges like Cryptopia and Poloniex are fun to trade on, they're easy to use, is because they have a lot of liquidity. You can make assured trades that you're going to get a price if you want to buy at market relatively close to the current market price. You might have to pay a slight premium, or as a seller, you might have to take a small loss compared to where the market price is. but it's still very consistent. You not only have that, but you also have consistent pricing, which allows you to do solid technical analysis and price analysis for cryptocurrencies. You can't do that on an exchange that only has $500,000 to $1 million in volume. It's just not practical. So now that we've realized this, now that we've realized what's getting in the way of these exchanges, I just want to go ahead and share a summarized perspective. I believe long term we are going to see decentralized exchanges take off, but there needs to be a catalyst that brings us all together to utilize these decentralized exchanges. Because as of now, as an individual, I wouldn't want to take the effort of going to make a trade or an investment on an exchange where I don't have the liquidity to close out my position if I plan on trading back. So because of that, I need to wait and see a catalyst. Now, it could be one of two things. One of these exchanges could provide a fantastic system that brings on liquidity and volume. For example, like Binance did. They did, for example, the voting process as well as the Binance coin that really incentivized people to utilize the exchange. Or we're going to have to wait until we have another exchange hack or two to really get people incentivized to realize it's probably best that I own my own money and I don't trust some centralized exchange that's charging me way too many fees and doesn't have the optimal security or ease of use that these other decentralized exchanges are offering me. So anyways, that's it for the video, guys. I want to hear what you guys think down below in the comments on this whole topic. It really excites me. I love seeing the innovation, and I don't mean to derail it at all. I think we have a lot of really interesting players in this space, but again, we have to stay practical and realize that this might take some time. But again, I'd love to hear what you guys think. But until then, guys, thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay tuned.